Um, we ain't boycotting African fucking businesses. What the fuck is wrong? What is going on here, fam? We ain't boycotting no fucking African businesses. Not in America. Not when we got all these other motherfuckers stacked against us that we need to be fighting. You know, when you start boycotting somebody, that's when you have exhausted the possibility of having a fucking conversation. When was the last time you sat down and tried to have a conversation with another individual on this diaspora? We ain't boycotting each other. Fuck out of here. That's fucking stupid. And I don't give a fuck who came up with the stupid ass idea. You're a jackass for it.
Hey guys, it's your girl Mercy and you're welcome back to the channel. So there was this news going around that on August 1st, Black Americans were planning to boycott African-owned businesses. But from the look of things, most Black Americans are not even rocking with the idea. So now let's dive into the reactions and see exactly why so many Black Americans are saying no, we are not doing that.
We ain't boycotting African fucking businesses. What the fuck is wrong? What is going on here, fam? We ain't boycotting no fucking African businesses. Not in America. Not when we got all these other motherfuckers stacked against us that we need to be fighting. You know, when you start boycotting somebody, that's when you have exhausted the possibility of having a fucking conversation. When was the last time you sat down and tried to have a conversation with another individual on this diaspora? We ain't boycotting each other. Fuck out of here. That's fucking stupid. And I don't give a fuck who came up with the stupid ass idea. You're a jackass for it. Y'all need to fucking understand the difference between everyday black people and fucking black capitalists. Do you know what this really boils down to? A fucking marketing fail. The goddamn owner, CEO of Essence Magazine, that was a huge motherfucking fail. That woman don't fucking know you. None of you. No, and it doesn't matter where the fuck you come from. She wants your attention so she can market to you. What does that have to do with the sister that braids your motherfucking hair and keeps you looking tight and right every goddamn weekend? With your pop-ins and shit. Get the fuck out of here. If somebody tells you to turn your fire on one of your own, that motherfucker don't mean you no fucking good at all. If you have gotten to the point where you are boycotting someone on this diaspora, well, by all motherfucking means, let's have a sit down and talk that shit out first. Okay? But that means that you have tried every other motherfucking thing, and we deserve to give each other every fucking opportunity. You give it to the goddamn white man. So if you're boycotting, that means you've exhausted all other possibilities, and I don't see that here. So let's get our shit together. Stop fucking fighting amongst us. There's too many of them out there waiting for us to take each other out so they can come and clean up. Now get it the fuck together.
Okay, so I just see some shit them talking about boycotting African businesses on August 1st. And why? Um, like, I'm not sure if y'all are aware of what's going on here in America. But like, we've got emboldened racists. We got a president who is a pedophile, a predator, and a felon. And now somehow, some way, we're as Black Americans, we supposed to boycott African businesses. Can we handle what the fuck is really like fucking with our money in our day-to-day life first? Because like we've been boycotting Target, Walmart, all these other different conglomerates that's been supporting MAGA. But somebody please help me make this make sense of why we would be boycotting African businesses. Like, why? So let me tell you why I won't be participating in this boycott. Firstly, because of the fact that, like, as a Black American who had to fight tooth and nail to figure out our lineage. Firstly, I've traced my family's lineage back to the 1700s. Like, so I know a pretty full spectrum or picture of what my ancestors were doing here in America, and tracing it back to the point where I figured out that our family was some of the first slaves here in Virginia and North Carolina. And then I went even a step further as to get a DNA swab and finding out that good majority of my DNA is African. So there's that part. Like, huge portion of it, like Nigerian, Congo, like the Ivory Coast, like literally Benin, like all these different places, Ghana, like Ghana, all these different African countries are within my blood, which lets me know, okay, like my ancestors were probably illegally brought here, or either they were already here on ground before Mr. Columbus said he came here first. Jokes. Anyway, but please help me understand why it is that people continue to peddle this narrative that Africans don't like us and they hate us, when there's a few people that I've met that did not care for Black folks, but it's just like a lot of individuals within this country, particularly other races, people who are part of the POC kind of collective. What I've noticed is that there are machines that are, consistently rotating, aka media machines, aka propaganda. Within this country, there has been historical documentation of how our government tries to spin a story and spin a narrative to isolate certain groups of people, particularly Black folks. And it's no mistake that this is happening amidst everything else that's going on. So you mean to tell me that you want me as Black Americans to divest my money and not spend it with people that look like me? When, mind you, I've been doing everything in my power to make sure that my money is flowing within our community. So now you want me, as someone who has DNA within my body that is African, you want me to say, oh, I'm not going to spend my money with African folks just because of certain situations where they believe this propaganda that was peddled, because maybe they just don't know any better. Because a lot of times the control of media, what's being sent to Africa is not the truth. So a lot of times people have these ideas and have these concepts about what they believe about us based off of white hands. There's white hands behind these narratives and these stories. It happened within the Black nationalist movement, the Black Panther movement. You had literally the FBI literally creating, had cartoonists creating propaganda that was supposedly from the Black Panthers, imagery of them shooting cops or pigs that were meant to look like cops. Like, this is historical. So it just does not make sense to me how so many people are legitimately getting behind this concept based off of their displeasure with things that are out of their control. The best thing that you can do is work on building better relationships with African folks that are here in the States. Maybe carry your ass on a fucking plane and go visit some of these countries and decide for yourself, do they really hate Black Americans? Because from what I've experienced, I have yet to go to Africa, and I'm planning a trip to go to Africa, and I'll let y'all fucking know. If y'all want to help me get to Africa, like this, share this, let some other people know the fact that, like, I literally was watching something yesterday. It was a YouTuber, and maybe I tag him in here or something like that, but he literally was like, I don't like the way that they're painting a picture of Burkina Faso. And he literally went and took a trip to Burkina Faso to see what it was really like, to see what the people were like. I think that a lot of individuals need to stop believing what everybody is fucking saying and take the time to actually do an investigation and say, well, maybe this perspective that I've had for all this time might have been coming from a narrative that was meant to keep us separate. Maybe, just maybe, it was meant to keep us away from us getting together as Black folks on a global diasporic level. Maybe. But maybe I'm making too much sense. I don't know.
Y'all really think Black Americans are boycotting African businesses? Y'all really convinced yourself of that? Y'all saw one person post the video and maybe a few comments. Y'all think all 40 million of us are boycotting? I don't know, videos getting millions of views, millions of comments of people, dogpiling on Black Americans. You would have thought there were Black American creators calling for this, people with actual influence. Haven't seen one. Y'all didn't notice that people were stitching the same video over and over? Y'all didn't notice that? Or did you purposely choose to not notice that? You would have thought we made infographics or flyers actually organizing a boycott from this response. Haven't seen it. You would have thought we dug up Michael Jackson or had Beyonce say something about a boycott. Y'all let one person, one irrelevant person, convince y'all that we were boycotting so y'all can list your grievances of Black Americans. Mind you, the only time the whole diaspora comes together is when it's time to talk about how much y'all don't like Black Americans. The only time. Man, I'm seeing that y'all have a multitude of slurs for us. I ain't know that. That sounds like xenophobia to me. Over a fake boycott. A fake boycott. When I first saw her video, when y'all started stitching it, it had 65 likes and like 200 comments of people disagreeing with her. But apparently all 40 million of us are on the same page. You walk down the street, you ask any Black American about a boycott, they're gonna look at you like they don't know what you're talking about. But all y'all had a lot to say about Black Americans in the plight of this fake boycott. I ain't never seen the word slave so many times. Y'all up here talking about Black Americans don't know how to boycott in the first place. Y'all keep naming 3 companies. One of them have lost $1 billion in revenue from Black Americans boycotting. One of them I'll give you. Maybe we should. The other one, look at their stocks and see how down they are. But we don't know how to boycott. Y'all can't be talking about the same Black Americans whose boycotts are the only reason why anybody's allowed to come to America that is not white. The same Black Americans, right? Don't know how to boycott. All we've done is boycott protests. Like, I saw people say, well, y'all can't even boycott Trump. Mind you, y'all forgot about the 92% of us who voted for a Caribbean person, half Caribbean, half Indian. 92% of us, but we can't boycott Trump, right? I even saw a comment section of people, the whole diaspora band together. There was a whole comment section of Caribbeans from everywhere, thousands of likes for comments saying, Black Americans are not allowed to come to the Caribbean anymore. We stand in solidarity with Africans. As if, from a fake boycott, by the way. Mind you, there's people who say ignorant things in every corner sector of the diaspora, but you don't see everybody banding together to talk about how much they hate whatever sector of the diaspora it is. But let one Black American say something, it's like y'all could not wait to just use your confirmation bias to say, oh, this is the reason why we feel how we do. Because this one irrelevant person said something. And now let's list our grievances out. Let's dogpile. You see videos where people are just like, don't come to Africa no more. Don't date our men anymore. Like, over a fake, I have to keep repeating myself, over a fake boycott that if you walk down the street, ask anybody, they don't even know about. But apparently that one video represents all of us. And it's the green light for all of you to just be nasty to Black Americans. I've never said anything bad about anybody in the diaspora, but now I understand that I will be killed by the police. I am just a slave. I am lazy. I am ghetto. I am violent. I understand. That's what you guys are saying about us. I understand that you feel that way now. You guys made it abundantly clear over a fake boycott. A fake boycott.
Let me get this straight. Y'all trying to boycott African businesses, but y'all still shopping at Target? Y'all still wearing Lululemon? Y'all still wearing Chanel? Y'all still wearing Gucci? Y'all can't shop at a Black-owned business to save y'all lives? You still gonna get your wigs laid by the African-American girl up the street who do hair in her house and randomly cancel your appointment, who don't even have a cosmetology license, who don't even grow your natural hair? But we have time to try to cancel African people and their businesses? We have lost the plot. The plot is lost. Got it.
This is probably the last thing I'm gonna say about the African braiding boycott situation, because honestly I think it's dumb. And I'm just tired of diaspora wars in general. Folks said that they boycotting African braiding salons, which might I add, Africa has many countries. So, maybe specify which countries, you're trying to boycott. I digress. If you're gonna boycott African braiding salons, make sure you boycott everything that has to do with Africa. Because at this point, it's like, if the purpose is to get back at Africans, then do the whole thing. Do the whole shebang. Just boycott everything. Meaning, don't go to the African braiding shops, but also make sure you wear your natural hair, because the hairstyle you're probably going to do on your own, or that you're going to go to somebody else to get done, is probably from Africa. Stop listening to most of your music, because it is probably by an African, has an African, featured on it. And matter of fact, just boycott everything, because civilization started in Africa. So if you want to get back at the Africans, you're going to be getting back at yourself, because, yeah, you're an American descendant of slaves, but those slaves came from Africa. So, and remember that xenophobia doesn't stop us from dealing with racism, which all of us deal with, whether you're African, Black American, African American, first generation, second generation, Afro Latino, Caribbean. If you're brown, you're going to deal with racism. So trying to be xenophobic and I guess like assert some sort of power or dominance doesn't really affect the people who are at the top, which is white people. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if your name is LaShawn or Kelechi. If you're brown, you're probably still going to get your head smashed into the floor anyway. So, like, the xenophobia, it's like, okay, but, like, we got bigger shit to deal with.
As a no-limit soldier in the diaspora wars, I'm really confused about what you guys plan to accomplish by boycotting African braiding shops. The same people coming on here talking about that are the ones who complain about the American braiders all the time. Y'all want to say that they have too many rules. Y'all want to say that they're too expensive. Y'all want to say that they don't have the same technique that the African braiders have. Y'all want to say that they only learn how to do one style, they don't know anything else, and then they still want to charge you $400 or $500 for that one thing that took them 10 hours. You want to boycott African braiding shops, which are one of the most prominent Black female-owned businesses probably in this country. You want to boycott African braiding shops, which typically exist in Black neighborhoods, therefore taking money out of your own economies. And all of this because you guys are mad that Essence Fest, I guess, got a little too African this year? The same people who fight for the right to be called African Americans, not Black Americans. The same people who feel like they should have a right of return anywhere in Africa and want to participate in Dirty December because it's fun. The same people who talk about being descendants of folks who were robbed of their culture, who were stolen from their homelands, now want to talk about basically punishing the people who are choosing to move here now. What is the end goal here? Are you hoping to have African immigrants not come here to start businesses anymore? Are you hoping that these pillars of the Black community will go away, therefore those capitalistic braiders that you hate will be able to raise their prices even further and have even worse services? And to be clear, a movement without a goal is never going to be successful. So do whatever you want to. We will see you back in a couple of weeks when you need to get your hair done in a rush before that vacation because you couldn't get an appointment with your usual girl. Once again, y'all just can't stand Black women and want to show your hatred no matter where they come from, America, Africa, or Papua New Guinea. I'm gonna need you to chill out.
We are not each other's enemies. Boycotting African businesses, that's not the fight, especially when we've got real system and structures working against us every single day. And now that's all from me today. Drop your thoughts in the comments respectfully. Let's talk about it. And don't forget to like, subscribe to support the channel. I will see you in the next one. Bye.